I'm I'm not actually sure whether I've met your brief because I might have got part way through the review that you set me to do and realised that this is a job that a cast of thousands have been trying to do for a number of years, and they've just come out with a new plan. And so I got part way through this exercise and realised that I'd better narrow the scope down. So you'll see how I've narrowed the scope, and hopefully I can deliver something useful. Um, so the way that I've approached this, I've been working in this job for a year now, and with 85 projects, I'm in a constant process of helping to develop new projects and then reviewing materials, reports and so on as they come through. And every now and again I get the opportunity to try and think strategically about the whole program. So it's been good to get this invitation to come along and engage in this, but I might say I haven't finished writing the talk. We'll see where we've got to. So I think the first place to start is where are the fruit flies and what are we talking about? And so we have Mediterranean fruit fly over in the west that used to be in eastern Australia and hasn't been found here for many years, and is now considered to be limited there. Queensland fruit fly, which you might understand by its name, is thought to be up here, but it has been spreading south and creating more and more of a problem in New South Wales and Victoria, periodically turning up in other places where it needs to be eradicated. And it is in the north as well. There are several minor pest species. And then there are exotics threatening from northern Australia, and also they might occasionally come in through whatever pathway into population centres. So the changing environment is a very significant issue for our R&D at the moment, and where we're investing and what we're investing in. So we've got the Sunraysia pest-free area. That has, over the past year, it's been suspended. It has been a source of great economic value, and now it's under huge pressure. And that's a story that can be told in many places. So I've mentioned most of the things on this slide here about what is the fruit fly problem. We've got production losses, control costs. There are market access restrictions that stop us, say, for example, from sending product to high-value markets, let's say in China or Japan. We've got the biosecurity systems that we need to spend money on to keep them out. And the things that are changing, the loss of the organophosphate chemicals that people have been so dependent on, spreading Q-fly, loss of pest freedom. And also we're finding some countries that we trade to in Southeast Asia are increasing their export market rigor, so that they're making it more difficult for us to get in there. And you might have heard about the loss of Vietnamese markets recently. And also we've got a lot of industries, including apple and pear, that want to export more. The strategies that are around, the National Fruit Fly Strategy was drafted in 2008. I've actually got a bit of a summary of that in the handbook and don't want to go into it too much here. There's an implementation action plan, and there's an audit of the R&D that's been done. The value of that R&D over the years is at least $27 million, and we've got a lot more than that on our books at the moment. You might be aware that just this week the Federal Minister has announced the release of this R&D plan. And then in HIA we've got commodity investment plans. There are very few specific R&D plans in apple, and the reason for that is that fruit fly is an across horticulture issue. This is my way of looking at the R&D program. I look at it through the production chain and whether we're ticking off all the boxes that need to be ticked. So in red, I'm thinking about the pest risk management measures, and in green, these are the monitoring steps. So these can be combined into an area-wide management program, and then across this whole chain we can develop a systems approach where we have a combination of measures with equal effect to a single measure. And down the end here, when we're delivering a product to market, we want the probability of occurrence of the pest in the product to be below a tolerable level. That's in terms of risk. So now I'm just going to focus down on a very large investment program that we've got, which is called the SIT Plus program. It's a partnership dealing with Queensland fruit fly. At the moment, it's just risen up from 22 million to about 30 million, and somebody told me it might be approaching $40 million now. And the levy spend in that is quite small. Back when it was 22, the levy spend was about $1.8 million. So and that's not just apple, that's a number of commodities. So we've got a lot of investors in this program. What it's all about is to develop another IPM solution for Queensland fruit fly, which is the sterile insect technique, or SIT. And what we're doing is developing that to a world standard. And it's considered to be a game changer in how Q-fly is managed. I might add New Zealand doesn't have Q-fly officially, but it could go there, and so they are also a partner in this research. This is the key facility of the SIT Plus program. The sod will be turned for this factory in September. It's in an isolated area of South Australia, well away from horticulture areas. And it will be a national facility, and what it's all about is mass producing sterile male Q-flies. This is this is intended to quickly give the idea what SIT is all about. That factory is going to be producing sterile male Q-flies. And here we've got the wild type female, the wild type male, and the intention is to inundate the population so that these two can't mate, and these ones do all the mating, so that no eggs are laid and population declines. And the research program is around producing these ones efficiently and cost efficiently so that we can get lots of them out. And then it's about making them really keen to mate with this female and to push this fella out of the picture. And then it's also about how to deploy the whole scheme. So that's the SIT Plus program, those three aspects of it. Why SIT Plus? SIT is used globally. It's in 25 countries at least, 10 species of fruit fly, and the scale of it, one program produces nearly 1 billion flies in a week. We use it in Australia for medfly and Q-fly, and those are around about 5 million a week in capacity. And Q-fly, because it's a native fly, has not been studied nearly to the extent of medfly, and that's what we need to do, is bring the Q-fly technology up to world standard so that we can produce it economically at that scale. The benefits to horticulture, it needs to be applied as a supplement to effective area-wide management, so we need to do a lot of work in that area. It has the potential to give much stronger control and potential local eradication of Q-fly with reduced pesticide use, increased production and crop quality, and potentially increased market access opportunities both domestically and internationally. So where we're at with SIT Plus is that the R&D for it has been underway since 2014. The SIT Plus factory is about to have its sod turned, and deployment of SIT Plus will begin in 2018.